Welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. This is the show that gives you everything you need to know before the big game kicks off. Tonight we're at Pride Park Stadium. For the first time this season, Derby County hosting Chesterfield in round one of the Carabao Cup. The Rams and the Spireites have plenty in common right now. Both clubs won automatic promotion last season and both got their new league campaigns underway on Friday night. We know all about Derby, runners-up in League One last season to win promotion back to the Championship after 2 years away. It wasn't a great start to life back in the second tier on Friday, though. Despite levelling at Ewood Park, it was host Blackburn that went on to win 4-2. Chesterfield romped to the National League title last season, finishing 12 points clear of second place, despite really taking their foot off the gas once the job was done. They're back in the EFL after 6 years away and made a solid start on Friday. Armando Dobra gave them the lead over Swindon, though the points were shared in the end, 1-1 the final score. And these sides played each other just 20 days ago in pre-season. More on that a little later. But first, tonight could be a milestone night for Derby striker James Collins. If he plays, it'll be his 100th appearance for the Rams.
Yeah, it's obviously a great honour. To get 100 appearances for any club is obviously a fantastic achievement. And especially for this club, the size of the club and the history it's got, then to get 100 appearances is obviously going to be fantastic. So if I am selected to play tomorrow, then it'll be a massive honour for me and one that I've thoroughly enjoyed and hopefully a lot more.
Take you back a few years to when you arrive at the club. When you sign for any club, obviously you want to be there for a while, I guess, and you want to be successful. Do you think success looks like 100 games, 30-odd goals? Do you ever sort of think those things when you join a club?
You never know what's going to happen in football, especially when I signed here and under Rosie, and then a few weeks later he obviously leaves. So you never know what could happen in football. I was lucky that the manager that obviously come in, the gaffer now, that he liked me as a player and allowed me to continue my journey, because a lot of times if you sign for a manager, which I've had in the past where I've signed for clubs with managers and they get sacked and the new manager comes in and don't fancy you and you've got to go and find another club. So I was really fortunate that the gaffer liked me as a player and he's allowed me to continue my journey to hopefully 100 appearances and 30 plus goals.
You've scored some notable goals, played in some notable games. 2 in Paul Warden's first game in charge, the goal that sealed promotion against Carlisle. Is there anything else that you immediately think of when you think about your Derby career so far?
The promotion, obviously, last year was the big one, because that's the reason why I signed for this football club. It was a massive football club in League One that didn't deserve to be there, and it was probably an underachievement from us all that we didn't manage to do that in my first year. So I think the goal to seal us promotion last year was probably the one that stands out. But again, when I first come here, I didn't score for a few games and it was sort of placed in your mind, and then I managed to get that goal at Plymouth at Pride Park. That was quite a good memory, because it meant so much to me to get off the mark, and obviously we lost the game, but the place was bouncing at the time, so that sort of stands out a little bit. And obviously the gaffer's first game, the 2 goals away at Cambridge, scoring in front of the away fans behind that goal, it was there's loads of memories, but obviously when you scoring goals, you've got a lot of happy times. So but to seal promotion last year with a goal was probably the one that stands out.
I think this will be the 3rd club that you've reached the century mark for, and I know you're well thought of actually everywhere you've been, whether it's 10 games on loan or whatever. You may tell me I'm wrong, I don't know. But reaching that milestone, does it sort of cement your association with the club?
You probably could say that. I think when you have success with that club as well, so I think Luton, obviously I'm over 100 games there, but 2 promotions, so you sort of, I think the longer you're there, you're part of the furniture, and especially if you're a club that wants to achieve things like this club is, probably makes a better achievement really, because you sustain your place there and you get success as well. So I'd probably say, yeah, if you get to 100 games for any club, it's a massive achievement. Again, Shrewsbury over 100 games, 2 promotions with Shrewsbury, so it's sort of like a common theme there, isn't there? So I think if you're successful at a club, then you manage to get your games and you stay. And yeah, I'd probably say it's a massive thing.
You mentioned promotion a couple of times. Won promotion last season, back in the Championship now. fair to say Friday wasn't the start that you were all hoping for?
No, I agree with you. And we were confident going into the game as well. We'd watched Blackburn quite a lot. We'd set up all week and how we were going to play. But like you probably know yourself, it's a tough league. There's no easy games, and we come across a Blackburn team who were ruthless on the night. I think the middle part of the game, I thought we were the better side. And I think when we got the equaliser, I thought I'd just come on, and I thought, well, we've got a chance here to go and get a positive result. But bit naive from us maybe. We got caught on the counter attack a couple of times, and there's a lot of good quality and athleticism in this league. So a lot of things to look back on and learn. But we got to put it behind us now and move on to tomorrow night. Yeah,
and move on to the EFL Cup, which is always a competition. Look, every game you play, you want to win and get through the next round.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, I was thinking about this in the car this morning. Probably makes it even more of a tougher game because obviously what happened in pre-season. I know pre-season's pre-season, and it'll probably be a lot more changes and a different side probably for both teams. But I think Chesterfield will probably have their tails up a little bit tomorrow because of the result in pre-season, which probably makes it a harder task for us tomorrow because we've got to go out there and not only win the game but show people that we're a good side. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be a tough game. Paul Cook's got Chesterfield playing really good football. I think they drew their first game back in the league, didn't they? So we've got some good players. So we've got to be right at it because it's not going to be an easy game.
James Collins there. He came off the bench in the second half at the SMH Group Stadium last month as Chesterfield got the better of Derby in that pre-season friendly. Ollie Banks and Will Grigg scored in the first half. Former Derby defender Tom Naylor playing a big part in both of those goals before James Berry bagged a brace late on after both managers had made plenty of changes. I'm sure there will be a different feel to things this evening at Pride Park Stadium. It's a bit of an event for Chesterfield. Over 3,000 of their supporters expected here, only their second ever visit to this ground, and they haven't won an EFL Cup tie in 18 years. Derby haven't had to wait that long, of course. It's only 2 years ago that they earned a third-round trip to Liverpool, but last season was disappointing. A 2-0 home defeat to Blackpool in round one, Jake Beasley scoring either side of half-time. The Cup wasn't really the focus for Derby last season. We all know how it ended. That was with promotion. Derby returning to the Championship and making that return on Friday night defeat at Blackburn. Let's get some reflections on that and hear about some lessons learned from assistant head coach Richie Barker.
The important thing is the lessons the players have learned, really. I mean, obviously we have, but we spoke to the players afterwards about an element of naivety in the second half. Maybe the goal, their second goal, which was when we were on top, clearly on top, maybe we got a little bit, look, we can go on and win this. Not comfortably, it wasn't an arrogance, it was a confidence. But then obviously, we didn't quite recover from the second goal. And I think one or two of the mistakes that led to the goals, if I'm being brutally honest, we'd have probably got away with in League One. I think some of our recovery runs, or the fact that maybe they would have made a slightly different choice on the ball, would have led to the fact that we might have got away with it. And we spoke to the players afterwards about, the finer details in that actually you aren't going to get away with it. So, yes, we learnt, but hopefully the players went away and said, actually, yeah, some of the smaller details did let us down a little bit.
It's so early in the season. We're only 90 minutes into it. How long does it take for you to get a sense of who your team are, what this group is?
Well, I think I remember having numerous conversations up till about October last year, maybe even November, where, people were getting a little bit carried away with the league table, and we were getting, where does this leave us? And it was like, look, let's have a conversation when we're 12, 14, 15 games in. And obviously we have to learn quickly. We understand that. We don't want to be 6, 7, 8 games in and still having the same conversations. But I thought there was enough positives in the game on Friday for us to be able to say, right, get one or two more details right, and there's enough positives. So I think I remember saying last year I don't look at the league table until there's at least double figures games being played. So I'll continue that because that's what I've always done.
Obviously, you played Friday. A lot of teams played Saturday. Still a game to come on Monday night. Lots of pairs of eyeballs on the competition, I'm sure. Any early impressions of the Championship from opening weekend?
Well, we all watched different games at the weekend, and we all came back with similar views about a couple of the games. There's a couple of performances that took the eye. Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, yesterday, winning relatively comfortable in terms of the scoreline, but also the opportunities they created. So we will take all the little bits of information that we get from the games that we've watched over the weekend, and it isn't just about the individual clubs you're playing against, because we were watching teams we won't be playing against for a few weeks, but just taking the little bits of detail and the physicality and the pace that particularly teams like Sheffield Wednesday were breaking on, and Middlesbrough, the pace that they have is important, because like I say, in League One we would have probably got away with some of it. So in the next few weeks we'll have a greater idea of who can and who can't adapt to that standard.
Of course, before your next Championship game, change your focus on Tuesday night. So how do you go into this Carabao Cup game with Chesterfield?
Firstly, wanting to win it, because winning's a habit, and obviously, cup runs are important. So we want to win the game. We also have an eye on Saturday's game, but also on the flip side of it, one or two people who may need minutes. But the most important thing's about winning. And in fairness, it doesn't matter who we put out in the game on Tuesday night. We expect to win. We want to win. Even the changes, we would expect that they don't make us any weaker. We want to make the team as strong as possible. So we won't be treating it as just, it's a Tuesday night and we've got a game on Saturday. We want to win the game. And in fairness, if we have to make changes after 20 minutes, we will do, because the result's important.
Only 3 weeks since you played Chesterfield in pre-season. Does that game inform Tuesday night at all?
A little bit. We showed one or two of the players the clips this morning from a few things that happened, positives and negatives. So, I don't think too much changes within 3 weeks. They've only played one game, and that was on the same night as us as well. So maybe they've played the odd pre-season game since then, but realistically, not a lot's changed. I wouldn't imagine their team will change a great deal. And some of our lads who are playing tomorrow night played in the game 3 weeks ago. So. We have showed them some of the stuff. We have showed them some of the positives and negatives, things that need to improve, things where we thought we hurt them, and it's relevant because it's recent. So, and obviously it was just one of those strange things. We'd organised the friendly, and then coincidentally the draw came out, which I think has happened for a couple of clubs. I know Blackburn are playing Stockport, and I was at their game against Stockport a few weeks ago. So, it happens, and obviously it's an opportunity for us to turn it around.
That's Richie Barker. There are 32 Carabao Cup first round ties taking place over the next 2 nights. The draw for the second round is tomorrow evening. But tonight it's Derby County against Chesterfield here at Pride Park Stadium. Audio coverage only on RamsTV for this one, but there will be reaction later at dcfc.co.uk. Goodbye for now.